The Tol area is a beautiful region about 500 kilometers south of Novosibirsk, bordering China, Mongolia and Kazakhstan. The Tol people number about 76,000 and they speak their own Turkic language fluently. The vitality of this language is still high and is used in arts, media, in education and in everyday life. The traditional Tol religious beliefs are based on animism, and they worship gods in nature, in trees, rivers and mountains. The oral epic story tradition is of great importance to the Tol people, and traditionally these myths and legends were retold through the medium of throat singing on a two-stringed lute known as a top shore. About a year ago, Wycliffe Russia began a project in the Tol area to translate the books of Ruth, Jonah and Genesis into the local language. Since the Tol area is an oral preference culture, meaning that people prefer to speak and listen to the Tol language rather than reading or writing it, it was decided to use the oral Bible translation method. Here are the steps of oral Bible translation that the Tol team use. Initially, a team of translators was selected with the help of local church pastors. This team then undertook a 3-week residential training session, followed by another training session, this time actually in the Tol area. Through the training, the team learnt some of the principles of general Bible translation and then went on to learn the special method of oral Bible translation. The team of translators also showed the training team some of their local food, culture and music. When the team are translating, they select a passage, and after listening to it several times, in this case in Russian, they go through the process of internalization. This is a process designed to help the translators understand a passage so well that they can repeat its meaning clearly and naturally in their language, keeping all the material content. This internalization can be done by drawing pictures, using memory objects, performing a drama, or other such techniques. After the passage has been internalized and the team is confident, the first recording can take place, using computer software known as render. After the first recording is done, the translation undergoes several reviews and testing stages. In the Tol team, first of all, pastors are invited to listen to the recording to give their comments, ideas and criticisms. Then the team goes out to visit groups of Christians and non-Christians in villages to test how well the local community can understand the translation. This allows the team to interact with local Christians and find out their opinions on the translation, as well as discussing the translation and its meaning with non-Christians. The team then decides which changes to implement and does a second reading. This is then checked by a qualified consultant before a final recording takes place. The Tol team has produced a mobile phone app with recordings from Ruth, Jonah, the story of Joseph and the story of creation and the flood. These are accompanied by contextualized drawings done by a local artist. The team were greatly encouraged when they played their translation of Ruth at one service, and afterwards a Tol lady came up to them in tears. She said it was very moving to hear the story of Ruth for the first time in her own language, although of course she has heard it many times before in Russian. It is hoped that in the future the team will be able to produce recordings of the translations performed by Tol throat singers. The team hopes to continue the project another 2 years in order to translate parts of Psalms, Proverbs, Exodus, Esther and Philippians, and to travel around the Tol area doing live performances of these translations.